How's it going, guys? It's Jack here. Now, I know I haven't posted on here in a while. I've just been really busy with work, just focusing on just getting a bunch of deliverables out of the way. But I'm now letting you know that I'm back posting. So yeah, let's get to it. Now, just to fill you in on what's going on in this video, it's more of a catch up with Liam, catch up slash interview with Liam on things like his inspiration for what actually got him doing what he's doing. Now, for those who don't know, Liam is the videographer based in Kings Lynn. He's also recently become a father as well. I'm sure we'll be delving into that later. So yeah, stay tuned. I wanted to bring him on to talk about the inspiration for his business, what's currently going on in it, and some of the challenges he might be facing. This is to give you guys more of an idea as to how you can approach similar issues. Now, before we start, don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below on what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Without further ado, let's roll the intro. Oh, okay, you gotta turn up. How you keeping, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It has been a little while, hasn't it?
It has been a while. I tried to find you on Facebook like a couple of weeks ago, and
Oh,
you weren't there, and I was like, "What the fuck's happened?"
yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a bit of a headache with Facebook. I still technically do, to be honest. So my Facebook was actually hacked. I believe it was the 1st or 2nd of November. So obviously there's like a whole massive issue in regards to like getting it back. I'm not able to get it back, to put it simply.
Oh
Because
man.
yeah, the method that is online for you to get it back, I haven't been able to use it because it literally says, oh, we're not able to submit your request, well, your review request because of the coronavirus pandemic. So yeah, I'm basically gonna be losing my Instagram, my business page as well,
Oh, dude.
obviously my original Facebook, which is, it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna. It is what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
savage.
it is annoying. It is annoying, but I think yeah, it's just a learning curve. So now, it's just a case of protecting literally everything. So everything has like a two-step verification on it. Everything. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna delve too much into it. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
So yeah, let me kind of just, I guess, give you a bit of a insight into like the actual purpose of this. Obviously, this is more of literally like a catch up on like what you've been up to, similar to what we do in like the group calls with the others.
Yeah.
But a little bit more of like an interview as well to kind of get more insight into like what, I guess, to give viewers what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur, especially an entrepreneur similar to yourself. We're gonna delve more into it obviously later on. So I guess the next thing to say would be, yeah, do you mind just like giving the audience an insight into like who you are like and yeah, what you do?
Um. Well, I am a freelance video producer mainly,
Hmm.
and also have a video production company. That's a very recent development. I'm not sure when you'll be releasing this, but I left a full-time job in end of June 2022, which is that's what, like 6 months ago. So I've
Yeah.
been sort of fully self-employed for 6 months.
Oh,
And yeah, it's been really interesting. It's been, yeah, quite good. I mean, my background's in video production. So I've had various full-time jobs doing it. And then, yeah, 6 months ago, took the plunge to go sort of full-time by myself. I mean, working in the creative field, you normally have quite a lot of opportunities to do work outside of your full-time jobs and stuff, just the
very
nature
true.
of what it is. And I think almost everyone I speak to who's in the industry does the same thing when they are working full-time. They'll always have little side gigs here and there and always be doing something
Yeah,
different to full-time job.
definitely.
Um, so yeah, I've been doing it about 10 years and full-time for about 6 years. So
Great. So you
yeah.
say
Yeah, full time 6 years. I've been like making all of my money through video for 6 years.
yeah,
Like
so great.
before that, yeah, before that I was working at McDonald's, doing odd jobs, retail, call centers, red
Yeah.
meters for a little bit. Yeah, all sorts of different bits.
it kind of begs the question because obviously from someone who's kind of working in, obviously you mentioned that you were working in McDonald's. So how did you kind of get in the mind frame of, oh, do you know what? I want to go from working at McDonald's to doing, I guess, doing filming because obviously like that's not, working at McDonald's, they don't really teach you how to like edit. They don't teach you how to actually like go out there and like start, messing around with like top tier cameras or whatever. So how did that sort of where did the inspiration come from?
Um, so I left sixth form after a year and went to college and studied film and television media production there for 2 years. And during those 2 years, I probably was a terrible student. I didn't really like the paperwork side of things. Like I was too busy hanging out with friends and living the life of a teenager, sort of just typical teenage life that wasn't really concentrating too much. But while I was there, I did sort of figure out that I wanted to pursue video as a career. Um, it was one of those things I wondered if it was possible. And obviously, with social media, was starting to sort of gain traction then. I mean, it was a while ago. It was like 12 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But
Uh,
yeah, so when I was at college, just got inspiration, but I didn't want to go to university. Kind of glad I didn't in the end. A lot of people I know from the college course that went to university sort of lost lost their passion for it.
no,
Um,
definitely.
whereas, yeah, I wanted to get a full time job, save up, buy a camera, and then go from there. So I went straight out of college. I ended up working at Adrian Flux. If you live in
You
Kings,
went to
then you
Asian
know.
Park?
Yeah, I worked there for sort of 9 months, and yeah, it's a car insurance company for the people that don't know what Adrian Flux is. And I was
Yeah,
a car insurance, I say salesman, but it was more, yeah, it was this kind of salesy role, which I'm not very. I was terrible at it, to be honest. Not the right mindset because I
can't
was too busy
don't blame
focused
you.
on like getting a paycheck, saving some money so I could buy a camera. That was what I was too busy focused on. So I
Fair.
didn't really try hard enough, to be honest. And yeah, first job as well. I didn't take it seriously. So yeah, I went bought a camera, left Adrian Flux, ended up working at McDonald's a couple of months later. Stayed there
Mm,
for 2 years, and I think the one thing I was doing is I wasn't massively pursuing it like crazy, but I was always taking photos, learning things, trying new things out with the camera, doing little music
almost.
video shoots, taking it if I went on holiday, and just kept practicing where and when I could. But I used to go raving semi regularly as well, and I'd make a few videos when I went there. So
Of
that was
course.
like that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's just I guess for me it was just making sure that I was doing it whilst I was working, so I wasn't just got a job, bought a camera, and then forgot about it and didn't actually do anything. But yeah, I mean, one one day I just snapped at McDonald's to be honest and just quit. Luckily, I was living at home with parents, so it was. I know not a lot of people have that privilege, so it was quite lucky that I could just quit my job and know that I'll still be able to get food and not not lose the roof over my head. Um,
Definitely.
and then yeah, again after that, just the other jobs I had, just doing video alongside it, whatever I could find. Um, and then keeping up to date with trends, sort of going on YouTube because YouTube's probably one of the best resources for learning anything.
Yeah, I
If you
think
don't want
I cannot stress that enough. Do you know what I mean?
honestly, most of the stuff that I've learned, because you'll be doing something, especially when you're editing as well. You'll be doing something, you'll have an idea, and then you'll go, oh, how do I do that? Straight to YouTube, and then you can watch a
So
10, 15 minute video, and then all those
it
skills that you pick up along the way, they snowball, and then you end up having like a Swiss Army knife of tools after doing it for not that long, to be honest. If you keep having ideas and trying to think, someone's probably done it before you. And if they haven't, there will be times where they haven't, someone else hasn't done it. But you can find the different elements of the bit you need and then piece it together. Um, I found that that's also happened a few times.
I
But
think
yeah,
it is.
and
Sorry, I
go
didn't
on.
mean to interject. I was gonna say I think it is crazy because literally everyone I've spoken to, like regardless of whatever, I guess, tier they're in terms of like their work, they always say, they go to YouTube to just like learn new skills. Like I was speaking to obviously my brother is a programmer and yeah, like he's a programmer at a high level and he literally says, yeah, he regularly just goes to YouTube just to learn what he needs to learn. So yeah, YouTube best place to go if you want to learn something, mate. It's quite interesting as well because you obviously you mentioned that you were working at McDonald's and then reached a point where you kind of snapped, if you like. Um, could you kind of, I guess could you kind of tell me as to how you landed your first client?
What, private client or first job? Because
Uh,
my first
let's say private client.
um, private client was actually, so I'm trying to think who it would have been. I mean, sort of growing up with the friends that I had, I knew quite a lot of people sort of in the music scene. So I think the first private client I had is probably very similar to a lot of people that do video as a music video
Oh,
for a friend of a friend. Um, and that was probably the first client. I can't even think, but I'm pretty sure it would have been a music video.
yeah.
Um, and then I also did a wedding video for my cousin. Um, was another one of my first sort of actual sort of
One of
paid
your
things.
first was a wedding video.
Yeah, so my cousin was getting married,
Amazing.
and she was just knew that I was into it, and
Yeah.
they didn't want to fork out for sort of a professional stand, and they asked if I could
Yeah.
do it, and yeah, that was quite interesting. That was I learned a very big lesson on that first shoot on that shoot. That was make sure you've always got spare batteries on top of your spare batteries because my main camera ran out of batteries. Um, Luckily, I brought my GoPro with me, which I managed to capture the rest of the event on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
no, I
think
mean, a lot of people will probably say the same thing, but word of mouth was how I first found a client. Someone needed a video making, and one of my friends knew that I did video, and they were like, "Oh, just connected the two."
yeah. I think yeah, it's funny because you mentioned obviously about like weddings and stuff, and I remember having a conversation with Kai, and he was telling me, yeah, weddings are so stressful, so stressful because it's one of those where if you miss an event, if you miss something that happens at the wedding, you can't really replicate it because it's just obviously it's the wedding. Everyone like you only have a wedding once. You can't say to I guess the members, you can't say, oh, okay, can you come back another day? You can't. You have to get it in and there. So yeah, I can understand how intense that must have been, especially being one of the first videos you created.
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a few weddings now since as well, and I love doing weddings. It's probably one of the more fun jobs for me. Everyone's in
Really?
a good mood. Yeah, everyone like it's a long day, but everyone's in a good mood. Uh, it's nice to capture someone on sort of the happiest day of their life so far, as
Yeah,
well.
I
For
know what you
most
mean.
people, that's what it is. So it's you're there as long as nothing bad happens. Sort of touch wood,
That's
and it
what,
hasn't.
man.
Again, touch wood that it hasn't yet as well. And I think a lot of people worry about sort of doing weddings and things and saying it's stressful. It is, but obviously there's limitations to what you can do, especially if you're shooting solo as well. And as long as the expectations are sort of settled before the day and the couple understand that they may not have everything that they wanted from the day on camera because it's impossible to be everywhere at once.
True.
But you can get around that. So I did one wedding recently and I shot it by myself. I'm never doing that again. It was just
Yeah,
that was stressful.
could imagine.
Trying to maintain sort of the standard that I like for the wedding videos and do it by myself was just nearly impossible. Because I like to have always two cameras running it the whole time, so that there is always almost everything is captured because it's hard to miss stuff when you've got two cameras running the whole time. And yeah, just running around with two cameras by yourself is quite difficult.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense, mate. Definitely makes sense. I guess my next question would be, obviously, recently you became a father, and I remember obviously speaking to you about this. And before, I think when you became a father, you were still working full time for someone else, right? So I guess how did I think it's more why. So why did you decide, oh, do you know what? Like I want to actually do this full time on my once, considering so you literally had like a massive responsibility. Like how did you, I guess, balance that out?
I have no impulse control, mate. That's the issue.
Fair enough,
No,
mate, fair
it was.
enough.
I think it was a decision that I was sort of wanting to make for a while, especially at least moving away from the company I was working for.
Yeah,
I stopped enjoying the work there as much. Um, I mean, it was a good job and I did enjoy it, but it was just creating the same sort of videos for 3 years and then having a massive workload for 3 years like that as well. I just felt like it was time for something new. Um, and I had money saved up and I had a few contacts and sort of I'm a sort of person that will just jump in the deep end and hope I can swim. And actually, to be fair, it worked out really well. I
mm,
was very, very busy over summer and then have been busy pretty much until this month, which is
okay,
nice because
that's smashing,
yeah,
mate.
yeah, which is really good. It was a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting to have bits of work, obviously. I didn't think it was all going to be completely nothing. Um, but the fact that sort of jumping straight into it got busy quite quickly was nice.
Yeah,
I'm a bit worried about December, although I've spoken to a few other friends of mine in the industry, and one of my friends was like, "No, man. I mean, I've booked a trip to Jamaica for 4 weeks because I knew that I was going to be dead in December." So
really,
yeah,
that's quite
so
interesting.
that sort of shows. Yeah, he's been freelancing for 3 years now, and he's like December's always pretty
3 years.
dead.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because I think we kind of have like a similar thing. So obviously when I decided to, I guess, just do my own thing full time, I remember I was lucky in a sense that I'd already kind of, I guess, got like a client to pre-book. So when I was full time, it was just, oh, okay, I'll just be doing certain bits for them. And obviously doing that, plus you kind of get, you kind of get like the new clients as well. So it kind of puts you in a position where you're like, oh, to be fair, like there is demand out there already. So it's just a case for you to of how you sustain that, if you like. So yeah, like definitely completely get that. I think one question I would ask though is, could you like tell me more as to obviously, I don't know what it's like for your situation, but have you had like a challenging period where you've almost have to really almost like go back to the drawing boards in terms of like sourcing clients?
I'm actually kind of at that point now, which is quite funny you sort of asked that question.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, luckily, as I said, I was really busy anyway, so I've got enough of a buffer behind me. So I'm now in a lull stage, and I'm
yeah,
putting the cogs to work in my brain, trying to figure out
yeah.
what would be the best approach of getting clients. I mean, the lucky thing about working in the industry for other companies that already have big clients is that I've got quite a nice portfolio to back me up already.
Okay.
So like to show as a proof of concept basically that I can do the job,
Yeah,
and I can make high quality product to the standard that a large company would accept.
fair.
I just need to find out how to get to the decision makers now. That's which
I guess
which no one really tells you, I guess.
no one really does. I think lead generation is it's especially as a freelancer, it's one of the most difficult thing to like master. And even when you master it, you still have to like pivot time to time. So I guess the question would be like, what would you say you're currently doing for lead generation? Just for obviously people who are watching this video and like they might need some ideas as to what they could be doing for lead generation. Like what would you say is like a good thing of what you're doing, and what would you say is like a bad thing of what you're
So right now for me,
doing?
I am reaching out to agencies. So for what I want to be doing right now, particularly just more specializing in sort of being a video producer, reaching
Okay.
out to agencies, LinkedIn, finding their websites, phone numbers if possible, and then getting in touch with them to see what work that they have going on, whether it be a short-term contract for a specific production company, or whether it be a single project that a company need help with. They need to bring, say, a video producer in to help with one project,
Yeah.
or whether it is sort of an ad hoc basis, say do one day here, one day there, which is really nice. And I think because I'm still trying to build up a client base of my own through my production company, I
Yeah.
need to focus on that to make sure I've got regular work coming in initially, so that I do have the regular work throughout the months, and then finding my own clients on the side of that. So I have done cold outreach via email to companies,
Okay.
which hasn't been very successful, if I'm being honest. But I also have not done the numbers that I know you need to do with cold outreach email.
I think this is what's quite interesting, because I remember I actually spoke to Kaya about this as well. In terms of lead generation, obviously similar to what you mentioned, it's like we always feel like we're not doing as much as what we should be doing. Because obviously, like when you look online, for example, you see people who are like, okay, yeah, you need to minimum, if you want to get somewhere, you need to be probably like emailing people like probably sending at least like 100 email per day. Obviously trying to see if you can actually jump on a call with them as quickly as possible. So I definitely get that in terms of how you feel like you're not hitting your target. But I guess now I kind of want to delve more into like, why do you feel like you're not hitting it? Like what do you feel like is holding you back?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I think because I'm focusing on trying to get the freelance work more than the work through my own company, that's probably the reason. Because I know that I can get work not easily, but it's
Yeah.
possible a lot. There's a higher possibility of me getting work as a freelance video producer than it is bringing a company on board to my
I
production
see.
company, if
That
that
does
makes
make
sense.
sense.
So that's
Yeah.
that's where I'm focusing more. As you say, I've got a child. I need to make sure I've got money coming in. And to be
Yeah.
honest, the money is good being a freelance video producer. It is good
Mm.
money. And it's also, I wouldn't have to work full time on that. So when I do have the bits going on, that's when I can then push out and start doing more outreach.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know how other people do it either, but I don't take like a shotgun approach. I try and specifically target. I'll look through lots of companies and try and find someone that I feel
Yeah.
like I could work with, and then try and get an email address. I mean, I brute forced someone's email address for a company in America once,
Yeah.
and they actually got back to me, which was quite
Right.
interesting because
Fair enough.
I managed to get their direct email address. It didn't go anywhere, but I had a couple of calls with them, and they were quite interested. But
Yeah.
and then COVID happened, and nothing came of it. So
I think the question would be like, because obviously there are different sort of ways you can approach lead generation. And in your case, it seems like you're more doing like an organic based lead generation, if that's the right way of wording it. So obviously you're actually individually messaging these accounts, if you like, and just reaching out on whether they want like a job or two. Have you ever thought of making it a bit, I guess, a bit more automated, if you like? So, for example, just to give you an idea as to some of the funnels that some of my clients use, they literally use a system where they have an advert going on Facebook and like Instagram platform like that, and then that advert literally collects the emails of those people interested, and then from those emails they then reach out. So these are people who are already like soft leads, if you like, right? So then they reach out through those emails, and then they get the chance of actually like closing them. But when obviously the client starts asking for stuff like prices and things along those lines, they don't even say any of the prices online. This is a case of they literally get them on a call or like a free webinar, if you like, or whatever, and then from that they actually like transform them into an actual paying client. And if they don't pay, and let's say they say, oh, we can't afford this at the time, or they start, I don't know, thinking of they give like excuses here and there, then they get filtered out into another category where the category basically resides on like they get information being sent to them. So obviously they've still got the email and the email list, and then they get information being sent to them. So just is that constant value, and that happens over like a 3 month period, and then it reaches a point where the clients that initially say they don't have the money, they end up closing them at a later date, just because they've had so much value thrown at them that they're like, oh, do you know what? We need to like prioritize this essentially. So I don't know if you've ever thought of doing anything like that. I'm just kind of giving you like an idea.
Yeah, no, to be honest, mate, I haven't really thought of doing anything like that. That stuff. I've not really delved too deep into the whole marketing funnel side of things,
Yeah,
to be honest. Um, I'm not sure why.
yeah.
I can't think of why I wouldn't do that. It's
Oh,
because it obviously gets results for people.
yeah.
Um,
I think I always say, yeah, definitely look into like a marketing funnel if you haven't already. Like obviously for the people watching this, if you get a chance, just have a look at the marketing funnels because you obviously you do get like businesses that want to like spend money on social media marketing. I say if you're gonna spend money on social media marketing, you have to keep it in mind of people don't just want to see an advert, and people like generally speaking, people don't see an unless you're an established business, people don't see an advert and instantly want to give you their money. If anything, they kind of see an advert. If they're interested, they kind of want to check it out, but half of them are still skeptical, right? Because they don't have that personal touch. They haven't interacted with you and they haven't built that trust, right? So now it's a matter of you getting their details because it's an email. What's the worst going to happen, right? They're not really, it's a currency, but it's not like an expensive currency. So then from the email, then you actually get to talk to someone who's like a tangible person, and then you're kind of they feel a bit more inclined to actually close. I mean, I'd imagine. Have you found that like most of the clients that you closed are people you've actually spoken on a call with?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The clients that I have closed have always been either on a call or face to
yeah,
face, and I've been able to almost consult them and find out exactly what they need, what they want, and be able to provide the solution for that.
literally.
It's a lot easier to do that than sort of going back and forth on an email. I
Yeah.
do find calls are the most easy way to do that.
Honestly, yeah, you can't put a price and jumping on a call with people. I think that's the thing. It's like especially if you're like a newly you're not like an established company, you need to really just get comfortable with just speaking to your audience, talking to them on the phone, and then yeah, see if you can actually change them into like a paying client. Um, I guess my next question would be if you were to advise someone who's in a similar situation to what you're in right now, um, what do you reckon your advice would be to tackle the issues they are currently facing?
Again, another interesting question.
Mm.
Sorry, my brain's gone completely blank. I mean, I think
Oh,
it's because
yeah.
I'm not facing a massive amount of issues at the moment.
Okay.
If that makes sense, I
Yeah,
haven't
it's fair enough.
had
Yeah.
much. I'd say probably the only issue I am facing is maybe uh, my own ability to be productive for a certain period of time throughout the day.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So in terms of, so do you feel like obviously you start the day at like a high, and then that slowly just sort of depreciates over time, and then it reaches a point where
Yeah,
you,
no, I feel like it comes in sporadic bursts throughout the day.
yeah,
But the way I get around that is trying to do something else. So if I notice that productivity is lagging,
yeah,
I'll start in the morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and
yeah.
then if I feel myself sort of lagging between 11 and 12, I'll go to the gym, and
Fair,
then
fair.
come back, get back to it for another hour or so, and then I'll go right. I'm flagging again. I'll go have lunch, and then come back and probably won't be as productive I was initially in first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But then I know I've got other tasks that I can do that don't require that sort of brain activity, if
It's
that
quite
makes sense.
interesting that you mentioned that because that's literally like the best one of the best advice you can possibly give to anyone who's got like procrastinating because it's like okay if you feel like you're not productive or you've literally got like a mental block, it's important to take yourself out of that situation, literally go do something completely different. Obviously you mentioned going to gym, and whilst you're at gym you find out obviously you're in your own thoughts. Yes, you're thinking about I don't know whatever rep you're doing, but you're also thinking, oh, do you know what? I feel like when I go back into it, I can actually like approach it in a different way, and I actually you almost. I guess you get like a bit of a reset. And
Yeah,
then when you do go back into it, it tends to be your workouts or whatever, like tends to be, no, not your workouts. Your productivity at work tends to be a lot more, just a lot better, really.
yeah, no, I've absolutely found that when you find yourself doing the bad sort of procrastinating, i.e., sitting at your desk, staring at your screens, but still sort of scrolling through Facebook
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
taking yourself out and doing something else. Go read for 20 minutes. As
literally.
I say, go to the gym, go for a walk, do something else. Like if you know you want a coffee, go make a coffee and chill out with your coffee. Even if it's just chill out with your coffee and watch a bit of TV and actually just, as you say, reset your mind.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Have you ever thought about like, I guess outsourcing lead generation?
I have.
Yeah.
I think one issue for what I want to provide at the moment is I don't have a set product, if that makes sense.
Oh, I
So
see.
I don't like I've got obviously I make videos,
Yeah.
and if I could speak to someone who wants a video, I'll be able to sort of nail down exactly what I think would be best for their business.
Hmm.
But I feel like lead generation feels like something that would be more product based, if that makes sense. So if I had one type of video that I made, say if I was a music
Yeah.
video director or something, I feel like
Yeah.
that could be outsourced because that's very easy to go to bands and just go, right, we're doing say you can even narrow it down and go heavy metal music videos, then you go to all the heavy metal bands and then you can give someone, say, hey, I'm doing heavy metal music videos, can you try and find me some leads?
Yeah.
And then they've got an easy client base to target.
So would you
That
say like,
that's
you don't have like a precise target audience then?
Yeah, I feel like, and that's probably a fault of only be doing it for such a short period of time at the moment, is I haven't quite figured out what target audience I want to hit.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you just go with like the quantitative approach? So, for example, in the last, I mean, you've been full time for was it six months?
Yeah,
Sorry,
about 6 months.
6 months, right? So why don't you just have a look back at your logs and your record, and then just sort of whichever client has paid you the most money in the past 6 months, why don't you just try and prioritize clients like that, and then have that as your target audience? Because then that way your life is a lot easier, and then you've actually got clients that will pay you. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, and that's something I've been thinking about. My biggest client is still waiting to sign off on their final version, basically. So once
Oh,
that's done, I've got a case study that I can use to then approach similar clients. That is something I have been thinking about,
no, definitely.
and again, that is more sort of a productized service that I could offer.
Yeah,
Um, so, and I'm not sure how many sort of clients would be locally, but it is an industry. So essentially, I've done a health and safety video for a factory,
yeah,
which is a very easy thing to market,
yeah,
um, especially to people that not every factory is going to need one,
true.
but a lot of factories will. But it's a lot easier to go to someone and say, "Hey, I've done this," and it is a quite a big company as well. So I did it for the local Mars factory in
Oh,
Kings
that's
Lynn.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think I remember you actually telling me about it, to be fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just waiting for that to be all wrapped up.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is because of who it is. There's a lot of sort of what's the word for it? IP. There's a lot of intellectual property in the video that I can't show people. Um,
Oh, I see.
so
So
it's
they
going to
can't
be
claim that you did it. Is
yeah.
it one?
So I'm not going to really be able to show much to people, but it is a case study that I can use to show other places, and I'm sure I'll be able to make a shorter version of it,
Yeah.
and also get a testimonial from the client once it's all wrapped up.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, I think what was I going to ask? I was going to ask, you mentioned obviously there's certain bits that you can't show. Do you know the bits that you can show? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Of course, yeah.
yeah,
So I could even just blur that scene out.
yeah. Because I'm sort of
If say
thinking,
I did approach someone and they wanted to see what I've done,
Yeah.
I could go through the video and say I can show you the video, but I have to blur certain scenes that do
Is it
have that
not
intellectual
is it
property.
is it not posted online then?
No. So it's a health and safety video for people that come into the factory, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that does make a lot more sense then. Yeah, because I was thinking it's like if it's like an online video, why don't you just like copy and paste the link to
Yeah,
wherever?
no, it's not that easy. I wish it
Oh,
was. No,
fair
I've
enough.
got yeah,
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah, to be honest, those are literally all the questions I have for you. Literally do really appreciate you actually giving me the time of day and actually, yeah, hopping on here to kind of give, I guess, myself and the people watching an insight into, yeah, what's actually going on, because I kind of want to I kind of want to do videos more like showing, really showing and honing in on what being an entrepreneur is like. You know, obviously you get to literally deal with everything from lead generation to the actual deliverables. So I really just want to get more of an insight into what's going on your side of things, and you know, just to give whoever's watching an idea as to what they can do to solve their problems. So similar to kind of what we used to do with a group thing, but a bit different in terms of like this is just us two. This isn't like four people or four, five, six people or even more saying their bits.
yeah, nice. No, thank you for chatting to me, mate. It's been nice to catch up.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
I hope my answers have been good enough as well. I mean,
Honestly, yeah.
calling me an entrepreneur is quite funny. I don't think of myself as an entrepreneur, but I guess
True.
that is the word for it, isn't it?
Yeah, literally, mate, literally. And yeah, whilst I'm still on here, do you mind just do you want to just give, I guess, your socials, your company, just advertise yourself or
Yeah, of course. So that's Cardinal Media UK.
Mhm.
That's a weird one, crdnlmedia.com.
Yeah.
You can get me at Liam at crdnlmedia.com for any video inquiries. And
No.
um, yeah, Cardinal Media UK on Instagram.
Sounds good.
That's about
Sounds
it.
good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll probably pop it in the video if I decide to upload it. I should do. I should do really. I'm definitely gonna be going over it. To be fair, I will be sending it to you as well, just for you to have a look, because I don't know if you want to use it for anything really. But yeah, man. Yeah. Cheers for your help and cheers for hopping on here. And yeah, I hope you have a blessed weekend. Really.
Yeah, you too, man. No worries. Anytime.
All right. Take care, of yourself. Yeah. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too, man. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for a platform that has tips, experiences, and conversations with other founders, definitely join the Faces of Entrepreneurs group. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. And lastly, have a blessed one.